Hi everyone, Dani here, and welcome back to Spenelli Speaks and day 23 of Vlogmas. Today is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, and then it's going to be Christmas. Can you believe it? We have made it all the way through Vlogmas. We have made it to Christmas. So today I thought I would talk to you about the books that I read from my try a chapter. I totally forgot to mention these. I have Jingle All the Way and then He Sees You While You're Sleeping. If you watched my try a chapter, which was back in the early teens of Vlogmas, you may have seen a little bit more on these. I did not get to the other two books that I had mentioned in that video. But I thought I would give you a brief review of each of these books. I would say they were okay. They weren't my favorite Christmas books that I've ever read, but they were decent. The first one being Jingle All the Way. I did give this 2 stars on Goodreads, and I'll tell you why. I really liked the first half of the book, but I did not enjoy the second half of the book. In the first half, we meet Everly, who is a real estate mogul, I would say. She has done a startup with a partner and really made something of herself in the Chicagoland area as a real estate broker. And she is really high stress, needs to take a vacation. She has an altercation with an assistant, tries to fire them, but because of nepotism, the person stays in their job and ends up booking the vacation for Everly, which, I mean, you can see the disaster coming, right? So instead of a luxury cruise, she ends up on this Amazon River adventure. So she's obviously packed all of the wrong things, has the wrong kind of attitude, and immediately gets bitten by a mosquito. And for the first week of the expedition, she's bedridden. And so the naturalist on board, whose name is Asher, like pretty much takes care of her, and within that time they get to know each other, blah blah blah, they fall for each other, yada yada. The second half of the Amazonian trip, she's had an attitude adjustment, she is enjoying herself, she's getting to know this Asher, but she's very has all these mishaps, like she falls overboard into the river of piranhas, she, all these things happen, and she's kind of down about it because she feels like she's a very capable woman, and out in the Amazon, she's like a klutz, basically. That's the best part of the book, is this Amazon trip. Then, they end up splitting, going their own way. He doesn't want to fall in love with her because he wants to stay in his life and he knows that she can't change her life, yada yada. So she ends up going home to Indiana to be with her family that she missed the previous Christmas, which was a big thing, I guess. And through that, she kind of does a little bit of soul searching and decides that family is better than her job in Chicago, I guess. And Asher also decides that the potential of a family, the potential of love is better than spending the rest of his life in the Amazon. So essentially, it's kind of one of those stories where like people give up what they love to be with the one they love, kind of thing. And there's no real compromise. And here's the problem I have. This woman basically gives up everything that she built, like as a female, as someone who, you know, it takes a lot for a woman to be able to come up in business like that, especially in a really big city. And she just like gives it all up to be with family. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like there could have been a better compromise. And I know like this book was probably written, earlier, where maybe remote work wasn't a big thing. Nope, it's 2020. So 2019, 2020. Um, she could have done a remote position. She could have literally, because she was like the co-owner of this business, she could have still done it, but like in the suburbs where she was living. Like she didn't have to completely sell out her business to like have this other life. It was very weird. And another thing I really didn't like is the way that it ends, and the way you find out like what happens is in an epilogue. So you have them like see each other for a whole day, and then it's like Christmas time, but then the epilogue is 3 years later, he's given up all of this and she's given up all of this, and now they're happy together. I don't like that. It's annoying to me. So that's why I gave it 2 stars. I feel like the first half of the book was great. The second half of the book sucked. That's just my opinion. I still like Debbie Macomber's writing. I think it's cute and fun. It's just not one of my favorites. So that's that. Then moving on to Mary Higgins Clark and Carol Higgins Clark. He sees you when you're sleeping. If you recall from my Chaya chapter, this first chapter, we find Sterling, who is basically in limbo, waiting to go to heaven. He's watching all these people go ahead of him, and he finds out from the High Council that he's basically kind of been borderline rotten. So he has been waiting for a long time, about 49 years, 47 years in limbo. And they're going to give him a task. And if he does okay, he'll get a night pass into heaven for Christmas. And so he takes it. And what he has to do is he has to help somebody on Earth. And it turns out he has to help a little girl named Marissa, whose family is split up right now. So her dad and her grandmother are in witness protection because they witnessed some key evidence in a trial for some mob bosses. So Sterling is like a celestial being. He can't be seen by anybody. Only really Marissa can see him. And he's trying to get her family home for Christmas, essentially. And her birthday is on Christmas Eve. So basically trying to get them home for Christmas Eve. And he does this by going back to the past to find out like what exactly happened, why they're gone. So he sees like what exactly happened as far as like what did they witness and who the people are that they saw and what they did and all of that. And he sees it through time, through the past year of all the events that happened, and he figures out a way to basically bamboozle these not mobsters, so that these other people can be free of their tyranny. It was super cute. By the end, I was almost in tears. Like it literally, like I could feel it starting. I was like, I don't want to cry right now. Like it's too late because I was reading pretty late. I was like, it's too late. I just want to go to bed. But it was super cute. I would say I would give this book like 3 stars. And I know that sounds low, but it's not. I think it was good. It did feel like a little draggy in certain points, but it really reminds me of Debbie Macomber's Mrs. Miracle or Mr. Miracle books, where it's like an angel coming down to help. And so I really like that. What I loved about this is it was really talking about like how people can be good, and even though they're not like good all the time, but people that do good things, or people that recognize when they're doing something that is not good and how they can rectify that. So I really enjoyed reading this one. I thought it was nice to see the evolution of Sterling's, like, because I guess when he was alive, he wasn't that great. And he kind of like strung people along. He was passive aggressive, that kind of stuff. And then when in helping this little girl, Marissa, he really like became a really good person and even wanted to help more people. So it was really nice to see like the goodness happening. So I like this one. I thought it was a good read, a nice Christmas time read. So I was happy to be able to sit down and enjoy that. So of the two, I would definitely go toward the Mary Higgins Clark route, but needless to say, they're both good for Christmas time, and I definitely will be picking others up because all of their Christmas books are pretty good. So until tomorrow, we'll be having, it looks like, what, 2 more days of Vlogmas? I hope you are taking care, staying safe, reading something fantastic. Let me know if you've read these 2 books or if you have any other Christmas recommendations. Until tomorrow, happy reading. Bye.